rock and roll and whatnot. Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna start getting here at 7 after the election. I'm back to get dressed 7. Rushed.
Titles are updated.
Thank and you.
All right. Now I'm going to bring my video up. Okay.
How come on that split screen you can see from behind me?
There we go.
You see the angle that's on that? Oh. Okay, but can we take me off and just have John on the Zoom meeting? Usually it's just him. I did it again. I went to put my glasses on again. Lord have mercy, Kathy.
Now, when I do that, can you still see me?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And JP, we'll sing Happy Birthday to Dixie at the end.
Yes,
okay.
And we've got sports at the very beginning.
Perfect. Oh, speaker view. There you go. How can you get rid of me completely?
So I am ready to launch. It is 7:35.
Charles is out there. Oh, there you go. That looks good. That looks really good, Chambrielle. Go, girl.
Good morning, Chambrielle.
Good morning.
Her hair looks all cute. You can't see it, but it looks all, it's all on top of her head, all cute. JP is on and we are ready to roll. So hit us live.
Wait. Make sure we got everything going.
Hit us live.
Oh, you already did that, and you already checked here.
She did everything.
Oh, that's great.
She's already. All we need is you hit hit go.
Why am I here?
Oh, honey.
Why am I here?
Start asking that question, Charles.
From VentureX Studios.
Why am I here?
JP, Kathy, and the crew.
Kathy and the crew.
Woohoo!
I love that. I love saying the crew.
And going crew.
Hey, Kathy.
Crew. I'm sorry.
Ready?
I'm echoing.
You ready, Kathy?
I don't
Kathy?
know.
I want the camera on that one.
Am I
Jazz
ready?
hands.
No, those are not jazz hands when you wiggle your fingers like that. It makes me grit my teeth.
Kathy, cheerleading hands.
Okay, look away. Look away. Look away.
Look away.
I like
Well,
it. Oh, okay. How come it's a weird camera angle on me?
Hey, we've got a big day today. Don't forget also November 11th, we're having a big day.
Yes.
Come up and join us November the 11th at VentureX Frisco.
A must attend at some point throughout the day.
We're going to have our Veterans Telethon from 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. That's going to be on Veterans Day. All of the proceeds, 100% of what is donated, will go to disabled American veterans. If you get up here and work with us for about an hour, we will put you on the air, let you talk about your business for a minute.
Or, your business, or give a shout out to your family and friends, or, whatever you want to do. It's going to be a really fun day. This is for veterans. These are for people who a lot of them have been injured, have had issues coming back from fighting for us, and we've got to take care of our men and women who are willing to put on a uniform and serve us, JP. So we're real proud of this, and we're hoping this will be the first of an annual Veterans Day telethon that we do from now on here at JP, Kathy, and the crew. You'll get to meet some of our new podcast entertainers. You'll get to meet some that are already currently on our network. And I think we may have a new sponsor that will be doing a short segment. Just super excited. And happy Friday.
It's going to be a good time.
Happy Friday and good morning to the crew.
Well, and again, you get to come on, and there should be an audience of almost 4 million people. And so we would love to have you come out, spend an hour with us, bring your cell phone. Easiest thing to do. Pick up your cell phone, go into your contacts list, and ask your friends to donate $1, $5. anything is better
Easy
than
breezy.
nothing.
And we'll have a
And-
link. We'll have a link that you go straight to that link. You can text it to your friends and say, "Hey, go to this link." And again, like you said, $1, $5, $10. Heck, if you can donate more, go for it. It's really rare. And JP, you and I have both done a bajillion fundraisers for nonprofits and things like that over the years. I don't think I've ever been involved in one where 100% went to the cause on the day we were doing the fundraising.
That's correct. And so, as I was saying, $1, $5, $10. Our goal is $1,000 for the crew. I know we can achieve that and even more. And so I'm
If
super
we
excited.
can't, we're gonna be busting chops.
We are. So I'm so excited about having the crew come on up, members of the JPKC network come on up and talk about your show. All right. With that being said,
Big
guess
day today.
what?
Big day today, JP.
We do, because
3
guess
special
what?
guests.
No, because the LA Dodgers
Oh,
won the
you've been
World
waiting
Series, baby.
patiently, baby, to talk about
Baby.
that. So the crew knows. So, okay, the Rangers obviously weren't in. So JP was all in for pulling for the Dodgers. And you were very...
Life Park was.
You were, yeah, there you go. You were at... you were very patient. I've got to give this to you on Wednesday because we had a really jam-packed show on Wednesday as well. And you were dying to talk about this. So JP, do your thing.
Let me tell you. First of all, I think the biggest news of this series, regardless, is that Clayton Kershaw went out for the first time in postseason and was able to, well, not probably the first time, but was able in the World Series to pick up a win in Game 1 and set the tone for the Dodgers. Of course, didn't understand what they were doing as they gave up Game 2, 6-4 to the Tampa Bay Rays, and then decided they thought that they would get us excited about Game 3, and we went up 2-1. And then in Game 4, they decided, well, let's give it back to the Rays again in like the 9th inning, and end up losing 8-7. But Game 5 was all LA. They won 4-2. And then, of course, that was all it took. And what a game it was. In Game 6, the Dodgers win that game 3-1. However, this is how this game started off. Tampa Bay Rays put a run on in the first inning, and nobody sees the scoreboard again until the 6th inning. And that's when the Dodgers put up 2. And then there were no more runs for the Tampa Bay Rays, as there's goose eggs all the way through the 9th frame. However, the Dodgers are able to put up another one in the 8th inning to go on and win this game 3-1. There were only 5 hits per team in this entire game. It was a pitching duel all the way, and what a great pitching duel it was. Blake Snell for the Dodgers was just amazing during 5.1 innings, only gave up 2 hits, 1 earned run, had 9 strikeouts in that 5 innings. Nick Anderson came in. Then it became a platoon. Aaron Luke came in, Pete Fairbanks came in, and then Ryan Yarbrough came in to close it out, giving up no hits, no runs, and being able to put the Dodgers back into the driver's seat of the World Championship. So very excited about the World Series. It was held in Globe Life Park right here in Arlington, Texas. Also very exciting. Stadium is beautiful.
Yes, the stadium's beautiful. We're so glad that somebody got to use it besides the Rangers. Since our Rangers couldn't use it for the playoffs, then there you go.
Yeah. So, the Dodgers did it and did a great job. You got to take your hats off to Tony Gonsolin and Dylan Floro. Just a great job of managing as well. But they definitely did it by platooning their pitchers in Wood and Baez and Gonzalez and Urias. Julio Urias at 2.1 innings finished out the game with 4 strikeouts. And so just a great game overall. Very, very pleased and glad to see the Dodgers back to being the world champions. And so baseball, here's what's fun to talk about.
Oh, and JP, I'm going to interrupt you just for a split second. I just realized we have yesterday's information still up on our feed from the lawyer show. So this is not Jeremy Rosenthal, and I'm not Brooke Folks, even though they did an outstanding job yesterday on his show. So anyway, so we've got Colonel Alan West today, Keenan Williams, and then one of our Miss Texas ambassadors. I didn't want anybody to be confused. I had somebody send me something, and they're like, "Are y'all doing a lawyer show today?" No, that's on Thursdays.
And we updated the title in the description, so I don't know what happened.
Oh, Back to sports.
Yeah, no, we're not that. So, but here's the greatest news about all of that, right? Outside of the initial run of COVID-19 in baseball early on,
Right.
baseball was able to really detain COVID-19 and keep it away from the players and the stadiums that they were in. They didn't have to go to Disney into a bubble. I'm not calling anything on the NBA
That
or
sounds
the
like
NHL because the NHL went into a bubble as well.
It just kind of sounds funny, like when you say go to Disney in a bubble. I would like to do that every morning. Like
Right.
I envision, floating around in a bubble at Disney World. Okay, I'll take that.
Yeah, no, it's and again, I'm not knocking the NBA because it worked for them. as
No,
well.
everybody had to do what they had to
worked-
do.
It worked for the NHL
Yep.
up in Canada.
Yep.
But here's where I go with that. We had fans in the stands.
Yeah.
And you're not hearing this horrible run of COVID-19 through Globe Life Park. In fact, they didn't have to shut down having fans in, and everybody was socially distanced. I had several
Right.
friends that got to go to the World Series, and it looked fantastic. And again, fans were in the seats. And so
Yep.
my point is that maybe we have overreacted, not to say that we shouldn't, still contain to a certain extent, but I think allowing fans back into sporting events, fans back into concerts, even if it's let's say you have a seating capacity of 35,000, you let 10,000 come in. I think it can be done. MLB has shown it has been done. The NFL is showing that it can be done. Again, they've had just a couple
Jerry
of
has
COVID-19
folks. Yeah, Jerry has people
But you're
in seats at Jerry World at the Death Star. Yeah.
And you don't hear of fans walking out with COVID-19 spreading it. So where the COVID-19 has hit both baseball and football, we're in the teams early on, and everything's kind of settled down. So I just think that as long as everybody's careful and takes responsibility for themselves, open stuff back up, get the concerts going again, get the sporting events going again.
Get life
It's been
going
proven
again. Yeah. And again, I think we know people are smart enough. If you've got an underlying issue, if you've got something, a health issue, if you're taking care of somebody who has health issues, you're going to be smart about it. You're not going to be out in the middle of, like you said, a concert or a sporting event or whatever the case may be. Heck, you may still be doing church online. That's all good. But I think as individuals, we can determine that and determine what's best. What I hear you saying, JP, is let's get back. Baseball's it's the great American pastime. Let's get back to the business of living and enjoy it.
Absolutely. So with that, now it's time to transition over to college football real quick. Lot went on last weekend. Of course, the Big Ten started playing football again. Biggest disappointment for me last weekend, Kathy, SMU. Number 22 SMU takes on.
I didn't even see what happened.
Cincinnati smoked them 42-13.
Whoa! What?
Yeah, so much for an undefeated season.
Ouch!
Cincinnati is a good football program. I'm just not sure that SMU is quite there yet, and Cincinnati made that glaringly obvious. Number 11, BYU, Kathy, sadly put the hurt on Texas State University.
Oh, man.
52-14. Of course, I said sadly because it's your alma mater.
I know. It's one of mine. I've got Texas State. Well, it used to be Southwest, but Texas State and then also North Texas. But yeah, our homecoming's this weekend.
University of Miami barely slips by Virginia. I wasn't too far off on this game. Really was hoping Virginia would pull off the upset. Miami wins that game 19-14. Again, some Big Ten action, though. Number 13, Michigan beats up on Minnesota 49-24. Penn State loses to Indiana at home. When Indiana was at home, 36-35. That was an overtime game, and nobody called that one out. Number 2, Alabama had a early hard time with Tennessee, but puts a hurting on them 48-17. Number 6, Oklahoma State had their hands full at home with Iowa State, just winning 24-21. And Kathy, interestingly enough, Texas goes to Oklahoma State this weekend, and I think that Texas has got a real good chance of knocking number 6 OSU off the pedestal.
Oh, okay.
So, and then of course, here's your team.
So that's
too.
a big old
Number
prediction.
4, yeah, number 4 Notre Dame takes on Pittsburgh. They win that game 45-3. Whose team are they, Kathy?
Jesus' team. Thank you very much, and you're welcome.
Kansas State smokes Kansas 55-14. Number 3 Ohio State puts a hurt on Nebraska 52-17. UNC, as I predicted, had no problem with NC State 48-21. And then Oklahoma beats TCU 33-14. Of note, also Big Ten play, Wisconsin takes on Illinois and beats them 45-7. Again, my game of the week this week is going to be the Texas OSU game. Of course, I'm a little bit partial, but when you look down the list, yeah, just a wee bit. Hat cam. No, tomorrow, 1 o'clock, watch Texas take on OSU. OSU is ranked number 6. Texas is going up to Stillwater. Again, I think Texas wins this football game. Not because I'm a Texas fan, but just because I think their offense is really in good form. I don't think that Oklahoma State's going to be able to keep Texas under 35 points. And when that happens, I think OSU loses to Texas by a touchdown. So that is my college football roundup and my game of the week.
All right, there you go. So I love it that we do have sports to report on again. You know, it was kind of sad there for a while. Like we watched a rerun of the 1972 game from this team. It's good to have sports to report on again.
It is.
You know, it just kind of feels like it's normal.
But yeah, I was ready for sports to come on back. I tell you what I'm ready for now is our special election edition.
Yes.
Roll into. Kathy and I had the honor and the privilege of interviewing
1972 game. Oh, hold on a second. I hear myself talking in my headset. Good to have sports to report on again.
I hear it.
You know, just like it's normal. Charles is looking at me like, what? And I'm like, I can hear myself saying what I just said a second ago.
So
all right, so go rewind, JP.
I'm trying to get those titles updated, and so.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, JP, yeah, do you want to go ahead and introduce our special guest? And this was a special, especially recorded segment, and we're just so excited that we were able to get him on, before the election, because there's tons going on right now. Lots of work to be done, lots of volunteer opportunities if you're interested in helping out with the 2020 victory effort. So give us a shout. We can hook you up.
We could. All right. So again, we've moved into a special edition for the election today. We had the privilege of interviewing Chairman West. That's the Republican Party of Texas State Chairman, Allen West. And so we're going to run that footage. Charles, are you ready? What? Take my hat off? Why?
Trust me.
Okay. Trust him. Why am I taking my hat off?
See, Charles always has us do these weird things, and we're like,
trust
what?
Well, we're trusting him live. I
know. I was going to say, we're trusting, yeah.
Okay, I'm getting ready to switch.
Okay.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, Chairman West. Thank you so much for joining us. I know that there's a lot going on in the Texas
Be patient
party
as we get Colonel West in his interview
trying to
going.
keep Texas red, and so I cannot thank you enough for giving up your time this morning.
Keep talking. I'm going to try it a different way.
Okay, we'll keep talking.
Don't
That's not a problem.
Don't forget, it's also 5:52 a.m. where I'm at. And so, yeah, there's no brushed hair. I think Charles was trying to get the look there with the blue button-down shirt, looking like I was still doing the interview live, I think.
That's correct.
Yeah. Well, Chuck, you now gave up my secret, my bad hair day.
All right. Hopefully
Are we
we'll
ready
have
to
this
roll,
here
Chairman
pretty
West?
quick.
It'll roll, but I can't get the sound. I don't know why.
Oh, we kind of need the sound.
Yeah, it's important.
Can we put the microphone up to the device?
No, not right now.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Well, there's a dang nabbit.
Well,
Damn it,
yeah,
dang
Snapdragons. Well, in the
Well, the way I was going
meantime,
to play it, it's not playing the way I thought.
Well, we've also got Keenan Williams coming in this morning as well.
yeah, well,
And
and again,
excited about that.
and again, voter turnout is through the roof. Today is the last day of early voting. Polls close at 7 p.m. tonight. They're open right now all across the great state of Texas. Very excited. The last couple of days, Texas, Collin County in the state of Texas has been performing either at the highest or the second highest percentage of Republicans turning out statewide. So keep that trend up, please. Collin County, super excited about that. It's interesting, JP. Lots of stats of Republicans who didn't. Let me get this right. Who didn't vote in 2016? Who sat at home? Who made the choice? You know, they're your
I think
typical.
I've got it.
Oh, well, okay.
Let's try one more time.
All right, let's
Sorry.
go for this. That's okay.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good morning, Chairman West. Thank you so much for joining us. I know that there's a lot going on in the Texas party and what's trying to keep Texas red. And so I cannot thank you enough for giving up your time this morning. And I'm going to jump right in. What do we need to be doing in these last few days as we gear up towards the election to ensure that Texas stays red from the JP office, the State House office, all the way to Senator Cornyn?
Well, it's good to be with you, JP and Kathy. And I will tell you two things that we really need everyone to be doing to keep Texas a state that's focused on liberty, freedom, and a strong conservative state. First and foremost is to get out the vote efforts. Make sure you talk to your friends who have not gotten out to vote. Encourage them to get out to vote. We still have the early voting going on this week. And then, of course, it'll shut down after Saturday. But we'll be back to business on Tuesday, which is the National Election Day. So make sure you get your folks out to vote. The other thing is, if you see any voting irregularities out there, if you see something, you've got to say something. So we do have a hotline. If you go to texasgop.org, you can find that hotline to report any discrepancies, any nefarious actions or questionable actions that you see at some of these polling locations. We got to make sure that things are done according to Texas election law and make sure that things are done according to the rule of law overall. So those are the top two things that we need to do, and continue to realize that there is no straight party ticket voting. You can't just hit one box and all the other boxes are clicked for you. You have to go down through the entire ballot, as we say, from the White House down to the schoolhouse, because we do have some school board elections on the ballot.
And that's so important, Colonel West. And I've had a number of people who I've spoken with, even at the polls, who have said, "Well, what do you mean? Oh, I'm in and out in 2 seconds, honey. I just punch a straight Republican ticket." Well, and then you have to explain to them. And that's why it's always good at your local polling place to have a slate card, to have a card that has the candidates that we support. And then if they're like, "Oh, I don't know everybody on the ballot," then that's when you tell people, please vote for the principles of these people. Even if you don't know them personally and you haven't had an interaction with them, these are people who stand for the Constitution, for freedom, for liberty, for patriotism, for local control, for less taxes. So the talking points, if you're out volunteering or if you're talking to your friends or family, need to be a little bit different this year.
No, you're absolutely right. And that's why three things we need to focus on are state house seats. We don't want to see the Democrats get control of the Texas State House with redistricting coming up. Texas is going to pick up 2, maybe 3 new congressional districts because of the population growth that we've seen over the past 10 years. The other thing is our judicial races. We have 4 Texas State Supreme Court justices that are up for re-election. And we also have 3 criminal courts of appeals judges that are up, but then also you have those local judges. And then the other thing is some people may be voting on Texas State Board of Education positions. We have 3 of those that are up this election cycle. So we want to maintain our strong judiciary. We want to make sure we have constitutionalists, not judicial activists, and we want to keep that Texas State House. I really believe that we'll be able to hold on to these seats that the Democrats have targeted, and then I think we may possibly see winning back some of those 12 seats that we lost in 2018 in the Texas State House.
You know, Chairman West, I'm going to go back to something you said a moment ago, voter fraud. I'm hearing a lot of interesting feedback coming from voters that have had interesting experiences at the polls and have observed some interesting practices at the polls as well. Is there currently a challenge right now still in the courts in regards to voting and how we vote? And have you guys already received a lot of calls in regards to voter fraud?
Yeah, well, our last challenge was this curbside voting that the Harris County Clerk, Chris Hollins, who is also the treasurer of the Texas Democrat Party, decided to expand on his own unilaterally. That's a violation of Texas election law. For whatever reason, the Texas State Supreme Court didn't even take up the petition that we sent in. But I know that that's a big concern down there, is this thing about 24-hour voting that he is unilaterally implementing, and then also the expansion of curbside voting to about 10 different locations. So we are tracking those things. We are getting a lot of reports back, and that's why one of our legislative priorities going into the legislative session of next year is election integrity, because I think we have to send a message once we retain our Texas State House, solidify our hold on the Texas State Senate, is that we will make sure that in 2 years we will not have any more of these illegal actions and unilateral actions we've seen from people such as Chris Hollins.
Well, and that's again, that's it's very interesting, the timing of this and how things are going on in our own state, in accordance also with what's going on nationally. You would think that things like this, and you would think that things like what's happening at the top of the ticket for the Democrats would be front and center. Colonel West, how do we combat that? I know we've had in Collin County some of our ads, even like one that says "Vote Republican," is under review, and I'm using air quotes for saying "Vote Republican." They wanted to make sure that wasn't too politically over the top, or I can't remember their exact language. Yet the other side has this corruption, and it's like it doesn't even matter. So how do Republicans, in a positive manner, bring to light what's going on at the top of the ticket and here in the state of Texas, and get that information out there with no assistance from the media? Social media is shutting many of our stories down as grassroots activists. What do we do? What do we do?
Well, look at you guys, JP and Kathy. Look what you've created. This is what happens when people are informed and educated. They get activated. And I think that it's time for Republicans to start to step up and do things themselves. I always challenge people as to why some of our, very lucrative donors don't go out and buy, like a Dallas Morning News, which is failing, or a Houston Chronicle, which is also failing. Their circulations are down. And so let's take them over and let's make sure that they are conservative platforms and outlets. So I think you're going to see us do a better job as conservatives, as need to do is just stay focused and understand. I see it more angering people and really enraging our base to get out and vote even more so when they keep talking about how Joe Biden is up. And one of the recent polls that everyone is talking about came out of the University of Texas Tyler, and it was sponsored by the Dallas Morning News. And they only surveyed 1,012 registered voters, not likely voters, registered voters. If you want to have a good, accurate poll, right now you should be looking at likely voters. But then think about this. Texas has somewhere between 17 to 18 million registered voters, and you're going to go out and conduct a survey of 1,012, and you think that's going to give you some indicator about what's happening in Texas. So I don't worry about the polls. The most important poll comes next week, Tuesday, when all the zeros are on the scoreboard.
Amen.
All right. Chairman West, I cannot thank you enough.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much for your time and your service.
Always.
Now we're going to be calling on you, Chairman West. Now don't go too far. We're going to try to get you back on, JP, Kathy, and the crew.
I'm not.
All right. God bless you, Chairman West. Take care.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Hey,
Bye-bye. Well, first and
There we go. Now I'm on. I love that. He said, I'm not going anywhere. Like, thank goodness.
well, and first and foremost, we want to thank Chairman West and Luke Twombly for getting us on there with him. And, sometimes we get him on Wednesdays, and sometimes he's busy. Like, I don't know, before an election.
Yeah.
On the
Biggest election ever.
Yeah, a lot going on statewide. Some of the commentary that I've been getting feedback on, especially the feedback on the Senator Cornyn race, is that the more commercials she runs, the better it is for Senator Cornyn.
Literally, it's interesting. They are showing the more visible she is on TV, with even the older ads she's running, the newer ads, that it is tanking her in the polls. Now, obviously, we're not taking anything for granted. I was just yesterday out, as you know, JP, at a Senator Cornyn bus rally tour where we got to see Congressman Van Taylor, who is a member of the crew, speak, and then we also had a chance to hear from Genevieve Collins, who is trying to get back Pete Sessions' old seat, which Allred holds right now, Colin Allred, and just really hoping that she wins that seat back. That truly should be a Republican seat. And heard from Justin Holland about the importance of the Texas State House races, because of course this year we've got redistricting. So there's so much at stake. We're not taking advantage or taking it for granted. Big crowd yesterday in Plano at lunchtime, and it's interesting. It's interesting because we had talked about her commercials and were they effective or not. And God bless her for her service, but now people are starting to have reaction from her, and this is interesting. And I would love to hear from like Chuck and Andrew, who have their Kilroy's Conversation show on our network every Saturday. I would love to know their thoughts, because you and I know plenty of service people who have won and been awarded many medals, many badges of honor. A lot of people are coming back saying they don't like the fact that in her commercials, they feel like she is bragging and being boastful about what awards she received or medals she received during her time in the service. What are your thoughts on that, JP? Because I know you and I are more like, if you're in the military, you should, you should just be more humble, I guess. I don't know.
Well, it's not even so much. I mean, I understand talking about your credentials is one thing, but the more and more she's on television, there's more and more of this crass kind of attitude. And, that's not what Texans want out of their U.S. Senator. We want somebody who is going to be very much an alpha, but an alpha with class. We want someone that's going to go to Washington and be able to work with others and still get a conservative agenda through the Senate, past the House floor into legislation. And she just does not represent that type of politic. It's almost an in-your-face.
Yes.
It's yep. Way beyond bragging. It's very arrogant. And, Ted Cruz early on had to really be careful, because some of the times he would come off a little arrogant and people didn't like that. And he had to temper some of his public statements. And I know that his team worked hard, and he worked hard to make sure people knew.
He's phenomenal. Yeah.
Passionate.
Oh yeah.
He's just super passionate about what he was doing. Hers isn't super passion. Hers is I'm arrogant.
It's
cocky. Is what we don't need in DC.
Yeah, it's cocky. It doesn't make sense to me. And I think that's a really, really good point you're making. We want you to go to Texas. We want you to be, we want a Senator Cruz. We want you to get things done. We want a Senator Cornyn. We want you to get things done. We want you to take care of the business of we, the people here in Texas, and let people know that, you know what, Texas, we can handle our own. We're doing things our way, and that's just the way we are. And it works well for us. So don't California my Texas kind of a thing. Don't DC my Texas. Yes. Senator Cruz has become very effective, is one of the most, I think he's one of the better communicators in politics today. And obviously he must be, because his podcast gets tons and tons of views, tons of followers. And Cornyn, and I like one of the things they call him is thoughtful because he's not reactionary. He doesn't come across as arrogant. This Hager chick, there's something, she is very in your face. And I just sit here and think, she doesn't, like, the way she's like, oh, and they're not going to tell me what to do, and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that just doesn't strike me as the Texas way of doing things. We are very proud in Texas. We are boastful about how great the people are in our state. But I don't want somebody who's in your face. Like, I can just see her and Nancy Pelosi and AOC just all laughing it up. Does that make sense?
Oh, God, goodness gracious, yes. And, here's the thing, Kathy, you take it one step further. Can she get things done in D.C.? And she doesn't say anything in any commercial, any platform that she's going to do anything. She's just running to be a Democrat to run. And it's like,
yeah, that's a good point.
Tell us what you can do better.
Yes.
Than Senator Cornyn or Senator Cruz. And she never does. And, Donald Rutledge is on the feed this morning, and I love having Donald on there.
He'll tell you how it is.
But he hits it right on the head. Hagar is a yahoo. I'm a veteran, and that woman is a clueless idiot. And so, Donald, thank you for the commentary, and she gets my Kiss My Butt award today for even running for the office. If you're going to run, at least give us a platform. Tell us what you're about. Tell us why it is you're running and what you're going to do for Texas. And you don't do that. And so, yeah, Donald, she gets my Kiss My Butt award today. So
yeah,
Keenan Williams has just messaged me, by the way. Okay. He has been stuck in a meeting. He will be with us Monday in studio.
Oh, fantastic. Well, yeah, and definitely tune in on Monday. Obviously, we're still going to have our mental health moment, and we're still going to be talking some medical news. But again, we're continuing to talk politics because it is literally, we are just days away from the most important election of our time. This is really, I know people have said this before, and JP, you and I have been at this collectively together between the two of us, close to 70 years we've been at this. This is the most important election. This is a statement, and it's interesting. And I'm going to pose this question to you, JP, and I want to pose it to Keenan when he comes in on Monday. There's a lot of people who are like, oh, I kind of feel like we're up and down, and, there's highs and lows, and I almost feel like I'm on a roller coaster during this election cycle. What does your gut tell you about the presidential election on Tuesday?
I think that we win by 10 points or more. I don't think this is even close. I think it's interesting.
Oh, what about all the polls?
Hold on now. The polling is showing, this incredible turn, and Joe Biden is winning Texas, and if he's winning all these swing states, why is he working them so hard?
Thank you. Why is he sending Obama to swing states?
I just, I don't get it. And so I think that, first of all, I think President Trump has a big victory on Tuesday. I will be shocked otherwise. I think that the propaganda machine called our current media state in this country, I almost feel like we have reflected back to the Civil War with yellow journalism is what it almost feels like. And so, number one, I think that the polls are a propaganda machine for the Democratic Party and their messaging, which is extremely socialistic / communistic, almost to the point where fascism is sneaking its head around the corner with the people like AOC and the anger that comes out of the AOCs of the world. Number two, I think that President Trump has done the work that needs to be done in these states and continues to do so all the way to Election Day to get the message out. And I think the messaging has changed a tad bit finally. His wife went out and basically called out all of the Democrats that have been bad-mouthing her husband and said, look at his record and look what Joe Biden did for you for 47 years. My husband's done more in 4 years than he's done in 47 years, and now he's making all these promises and he's going to be able to cash in on them? I don't think so.
That's been my deal from the very beginning. Is he had all of these years in office. I mean, he has become a very wealthy man. His family has become, multimillionaires. I mean, what does he have? 3 or 4 homes? I think one of them is a lease home that leases for like $20,000. And don't quote me on any of this because I'm not pulling up actual stats, but I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I think like $20,000 a month or something is the rental fee on one of his homes. So you've got President Trump, who on one hand came in, billionaire, came in, is donating his salary of $400,000 plus a year back to the taxpayers, back to we the people, not taking any money for this, losing money, downsizing by going to live at the White House. I mean, his place in New York, I think, had like gold ceilings or something. But this is a man who made it in the private sector, did very well, so wealthy that he can serve as president without having to take a dime. Then you have Joe Biden, whose family, and this is not what our founding fathers meant, but this is not what they intended. If you're going to serve the people, you're going to serve the people. Was supposed to be serving the people, but somehow his family became this, multimillionaire, everybody in the family, kind of rich. And he was vice president for 8 years. And I understand your job as, your role as vice president is to support the president's agenda. But some of these things he's talking about, I feel like, why didn't he take a stand on any of this when he was a senator? Why didn't he take a stand on this when he was vice president for 8 years? And then again, you're right. President Trump's, like him or not, personality-wise, and that's what I'm seeing at the polls. There are some people who come up to me and they'll say, I'm not a big fan of President Trump's style, but I sure do like what he's done for our country. And I'm in particular finding that from younger women who are going to the polls to vote. You can't compare the two, and that's why it's tough to even make this comparison on the show. And I tell you, JP, getting back to the question I posed to you, and I'm posing it to myself, my gut will have to be so off if President Trump does not win decisively on Tuesday. I have never seen, when I walk into headquarters, a couple of Saturdays ago, I went into headquarters. They're getting ready for yet another President Trump car parade. We've got literally, people knocking on thousands upon thousands of doors over the weekend. And JP, I looked around, and I've looked around at a number of events out at the polls at headquarters. And there are people who I've never seen before. I'm meeting people who I've never met. And to me, that's a good thing. And people are literally saying, how can we help? One of the President Trump parades, they said there were people who jumped in line with us on the road and followed us back up to headquarters and said, hey, I figured y'all were going somewhere fun. What can we do to help? And these are people who have never volunteered before. And they're turning out in droves. And then Biden can't even fill an entire parking lot up.
Well, let's go to the board for a minute. I want to talk about some of the commentary coming in from the crew and some good comments. Donald Rutledge says, politicians are infringing on my freedom and liberty, and that my ancestors fought for. They signed the U.S. Constitution Declaration of Independence. Fred Nort goes on to say, from a non-born here Texas resident, one thing I always loved about Texas is the way Texans are so proud about their state.
Amen.
It is always state
Amen.
First person second. She is coming across and looks at what I did, me. That was in reference to our conversation
about Hager. Yeah.
Good old MJ. And then
when you start calling somebody good old like that with that tone, I know what you mean by that. There's no good old about it.
No. Coach Quigley, why no more Idiocracy Award each week? AOC, did she run away with the award?
She got it permanently.
She did. There, between her and Nancy Pelosi, there was no more room. Even Schumer, as big
Oh.
an idiot as he is, he just gets my Kiss My Butt award, and the two of them get the Idiocracy of the World award for sure. And of course, Fred also said, and Trump's net worth has gone down since he is president.
Right.
Truth be told, and this is something that I'm watching across the country. I've gotten to watch a lot of different podcasts from different areas of our country and talk about this directly. They may not like what Donald Trump always has to say, but the fact that he's getting the job done, that's what's resonating. And I think that with his wife out and he out talking about that in these last few days, I think that he wins election day for sure. Early voting has been huge. I think that those are Trumpsters getting out and trumping the Biden campaign to make sure
Oh, I like that.
doesn't lose.
Put that on a bumper
I know
sticker.
you love that.
Well, and
then,
I've got, while you're doing that, I'm going to pull up a stat. Keep going, but I've got a stat I want to bring up while you're still on that point.
And Coach Quigley says, beautiful blue moon on Halloween. And this is, Coach Quigley pointed this out, and I want to give him credit for this, that this will be the first full moon that we've had on Halloween, I believe he said, since 1944.
Oh, wow. Really?
So, yep.
And
then,
be
don't forget,
safe this Halloween season. Be safe out there.
Yeah. And also, real quick, don't forget we've got Freaky Friday coming up at the end of Friday's segment. Always there at the end, and brought that back last week. So, and then Gail Meek said, if Trump could communicate calmly like Reagan, this would be another 49 states red. I don't disagree with that. I think that that's probably spot on. Again, what I'm hearing across the country is we don't necessarily like how he says things all the time, but he gets it done. Gets the job done.
I'm going to disagree with y'all a little bit on that, because I think he has a very different style than President Reagan. It was interesting. I just literally just watched a Tear Down This Wall speech last night. I think the reason he has all of the people coming out in droves is because even though you kind of go, oh, when he says some of the stuff he says, but it's things that it's things that we're thinking. And he says the politically incorrect things. And I think that's why he did get elected, because we've got political correctness being shoved down our throats. We've got everybody saying, and the Republicans, this, we're usually like, well, don't argue back and don't push back, because that's not the polite thing to do. Let our numbers and our, record speak for itself. We live in a world where you do have to speak for yourself. You have to get your thoughts out there and your opinions out there, because if not, nobody's going to go back and research them and read them. I thought this was interesting. And JP, especially since you're with your dad, and by the way, we want to get an update on Stan the Man, the comedian, because I know he is back home from the hospital. But this was in your dad's home state of Arizona. 20%, and this was just the other day, 20% of the attendees at that Republican rally weren't Republicans. So that's a big thing. So 20% of the crowd, that's a big chunk of folks. We're talking almost a fourth, weren't Republicans. And get this, JP, and this is a statistic I've heard everywhere, including in our home county of Collin County. 36% didn't vote in 2016. What I'm seeing and what I'm hearing in the numbers that are coming through are people who did not. There's some people who are like, I didn't know I didn't want to vote for Donald Trump 4 years ago. Wasn't going to vote for Hillary. Just sat at home. I am enthusiastically casting my vote for President Trump this time. Those are some big numbers, and I wonder, in the liberal media, are they taking those things into consideration? Are they looking? I mean, I don't get it. Somebody made the comment to me yesterday that at the John Cornyn rally, and just little bus stop for 30 minutes in in Plano here in Collin County. Bless you, the Republican Party chairman Mark Reed of Collin County said, he goes, there are more people here at this rally for Senator Cornyn than show up for Biden rallies. I think there's got to be something there in the numbers. You can't put it in a poll, but it's got to speak volumes, right?
Well, and it does. And again, it's not that today I wasn't really sharing my opinion on President Trump's Twitter and going out. This is observation. at this point.
Right.
I've probably observed over 100, 150 people, and then talked to a lot of people, and some elderly folks that have said, hey, we don't like so much of what he says, but we love what he does. And so I think that's what's going to resonate, is what my point is. My point is that's going to resonate all the way through and through to election day. And that's what's going to get President Trump elected, is the fact that he's probably the first person since President Reagan to do what he said he was going to do, without
what a crazy concept.
without Democrats liking him, and still got it done. And they knew that they had to help get it done, because if not, they probably weren't going to have their seat anymore. And that goes back to the Tip O'Neill days and all of that. So that was some crazy Republican or Democrats back in the day.
Some crazy days back then. And you're right. I think people don't know, in the media, really, the left. And it's not even the Democrat. It's like, because, and there's a ton of folks. Met a young man just the other day who supported Beto 2 years ago, supporting Trump this go around, because he said he doesn't have a place at the table as a Democrat. He's a pro-life. He always, his whole life, had considered himself a pro-life Democrat. He said, there's no place for me in the party. Once I tell people, yes, I'm more left-leaning on this, this, and this, he said they shut him down immediately and say, well, you're not really a Democrat if you're pro-life. So the Democrats have left. What we have now is not even a shell of the old Democrat Party, even back in the Bill Clinton days. We have got it's this socialist movement. It's the AOCs, like you said. AOC, we just gave her we were like, here, you get the Idiocracy Award forever. Keep it until you're not in office anymore, which hopefully will be soon. Nancy Pelosi, you get it too. They let this group hijack their party, and so that's who. And Biden's their lapdog, JP. I mean, I don't see him standing up and saying, we need to get back more to the center. We need to get back where we, the people, want us to be. He's their lapdog.
Oh, I agree. There's no doubt about it. And the bottom line is this. The bottom line is, and this is a clear distinction in this run. The question is, do you want communism and socialism to run the United States of America? And if you do, you replace the U.S. senators that are up for re-election, and you replace the president.
Yep.
We have a special guest in the waiting room.
Oh, excellent. We'll be on with her in just a couple of minutes.
Just let you know.
Thank you very much. Yeah, our Miss Texas ambassador is coming on at 8:30. So we have another just lovely Miss Texas contestant, and super excited to have our next guest on. But JP, you mentioned the Senate. And that's another thing. And I just heard again this morning while I was getting ready some statistics where basically the liberal media is reporting that the Democrats keep the House, gain some seats in the House, they take the Senate easily, and they take back the White House. And maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm living in some crazy, delusional world. That's not what I see. That's just not what I'm seeing out there. And that's not what I'm
Kathy,
hearing.
Can I be funny for just a second?
Oh, you're always funny.
Well, no, I mean, I want to be funny at your expense, though.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, go ahead. I'll probably, I need a good laugh.
I'm asking permission.
You may make fun of me at will.
Okay. So we know you're a little delusional, but not on this one. You're not delusional on this one. I couldn't help myself. You opened the door. I couldn't help it.
I let you walk right through.
It was like a brother-sister moment, and I couldn't pass up on the brother-sister moment.
It is true. Yeah.
All right, you two.
Don't make me separate you. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I am delusional, but I'm right on this one.
Not on this one, you're not. So, yeah, I see us keeping the Senate. I see us keeping the White House. And then it's time to continue the work in these last 4 years that President Trump will have as president. So As we get ready to get closer to our Miss Texas ambassador, wanted to make mention again on Monday, Keenan Williams, President Donald Trump's representative for the state of Texas, will be in with us on Monday. He apologizes. He was held up in a meeting this morning, but has made sure his calendar is clear for Monday at 8 o'clock, and he will be in studio with us.
Fantastic.
On Monday.
He's amazing. He's amazing, JP.
Comes around.
Yeah, JP and I, real quick, I want to put a tease out there. Please tune in on Monday to Keenan Williams. Not only is he an excellent surrogate speaker and representative of President Trump and what he stands for, especially as a black man, he talks to prison reform and what President Trump has done as far as prison reform for the black community. And but Keenan, and I'm not going to tell his whole story. Not too long ago, he was in jail himself. He's been shot. He's been on drugs. He's been part of a gang. He's been homeless. And he is a shining example of the American dream. Devout Christian, found God, picked up the Bible, put down the guns, put down the drugs. And he is, every time I hear him speak, I am just absolutely inspired.
Well, and with that, do we already have our Miss Texas ambassador?
Speaking of inspiration,
I'm working on getting her on. Just give me a second.
Speaking of inspiration, yeah, and also we're going to be promoting today something else that you can do. We talk about fundraisers. If you want to help the Miss Texas pageant organization, their Texas Cares for Kids part of the organization, our Miss Texas ambassador today will be talking about a way you can do that, and you can help and make a difference and brighten your Christmas tree a wee bit. We say a wee bit a lot, JP, don't we?
We do. We say a wee bit.
And while we're getting, we do.
Oh,
my Irish is coming out of me.
Angela, you are so beautiful. Good morning.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. How are you?
Good morning.
Kathy says we're rocking and rolling and whatnot.
It's a line from Greece.
Sounds like a good way to start my morning. I'm so glad it's Friday, so let's get rocking and rolling.
I love it.
Don't forget the whatnot now.
And the whatnot, exactly.
So, Angela, I've asked each Miss Texas ambassador this question, and I'm going to ask you this one as well. How has it felt being a Miss Texas ambassador and all the COVID-19 and the pageant being delayed? What has that done for you as a Miss Texas candidate?
So there's a couple of things to it. For me personally, this is actually my first year ever competing for Miss Texas. I actually had no idea what I was getting into. So going into it, I was super excited and really prepared for Miss Texas to happen in June. But then obviously COVID happened. And for me, it's honestly it has allowed me to have more time to prepare, which is really, really great. I've gone through some huge life changes this year. I ended up quitting my last job. I got a new job. I moved across the state. So it's really kind of allowed me to prep at the same time. And then being a Texas Cares for Children ambassador on top of that is just giving me even more experience and even more prep for the role of Miss Texas.
Well, and let's go ahead. Angela, how do we say your last name?
Witzkowski. It is exactly how it's spelled.
I was going to say it's Witzkowski.
Yes,
wanted to double check.
That's a check.
Oh, sorry, what was that?
And I know that I knew the pronunciation, but I was going to make sure. No. So and you are Miss Southeast Texas, correct?
That is correct. Yes.
Okay. So what area then? What is your area that you reign over?
So from my understanding, it's everywhere like Houston, like Beaumont, that kind of area, which I did live in Houston up until July. I just moved to Austin.
Beaumont, good Cajun food.
So, Angela, I was hoping that your last name sounded like the Monsters, Inc. guy.
Yep, that was my nickname in college.
I love it.
That's not the same.
I love it.
Well, that's not bad company. I mean, he was very cute and cool.
He was a fun monster.
Oh, yeah. No.
Yes, but he only has one eye.
Oh, yeah.
Angela's got
okay.
two.
Tell us about the fundraiser and what you guys are doing for kids, and what has that meant in your life as well, being a Miss Texas ambassador?
Yeah, so we have a couple of different fundraisers going on right now. So one of them is going on for the next couple of weeks. It is a Color Street fundraiser. So it's actually nail polish. So for me, I don't want to show you my nails because they are atrocious right now. But this Color Street nail polish brand is essentially, it's dry nail polish, so you don't have to wait for dry time. You basically just apply it. So what they're doing is it's buy 3, get 1 free. And then all of the proceeds or all of the commission is going to be donated directly to Texas Cares for Children. So that's one way that you can donate and get involved, and you'll have pretty nails. So that's always a plus. And then the second one that we have going on is the Miss Texas ornament. So it's this really beautiful ornament. It was actually designed by one of our teen candidates. So Miss Houston teen Meredith Charbonneau designed it. Super cute. So a portion of those proceeds will also be going to Texas Cares for Children. I've already ordered mine. I ordered one for my tree, which will be going up in that corner over there.
Love
and then
it.
I ordered one for my mom as well. So we can represent Miss Texas, and it's a good donation towards Texas Cares for Children.
It's a beautiful ornament. As a matter of fact, if Charles, if you can pull that up, I sent the email with the image of the Miss Texas ornament. It is absolutely gorgeous. If that's something you can do right now. You can go to TexasCaresForChildren.org. Order that now, so you'll have it in time for Christmas. It's a nice, it's a nice Christmas present. I think, especially with COVID going on, I think you may see more people decorating and putting their tree up a little bit earlier than usual, since people are spending more time at home, and that would be a perfect ornament to have on your tree this year. So of course we want to encourage you to donate to that organization because of all of the good things y'all do. What are you a graduate of? Because we're about to get a whoop out of here.
Sure, yes. I am a proud member of the Fightin' Texas Aggie class of 2017, 2018, depending on how you look at it. But
Whoop. Yeah, our engineer Charles, who's one of our partners, I knew we were going to get that we were going to get that response.
you go.
But she has moved to Austin, so maybe we can get a little burnt orange.
That's just
Burnt orange master degree out of
that's
her.
just to paint Austin maroon.
Oh, there you go. Oh, no. Yeah, JP's a big old JP is like the biggest Texas fan. It's not even funny.
You
You know what,
can
JP,
cover
for you, I will wear burnt orange any day.
Oh, thank you. That was sweet.
I love it.
See, now I'm like your biggest fan now.
I love it.
I'm like your biggest fan. So, talking about biggest fan, what do you do for Halloween? What does a Miss Texas ambassador do on Halloween? Do you guys go out and trick or treat? Do you give out candy? Do you go to the hospitals and try to share a little cheer with maybe, I don't know, do you do a spooky look for Miss Texas too?
Yeah, so this year, I think with COVID, unfortunately, we won't be able to go into hospitals. I'm really hoping that eventually we will be able to, because that would be so awesome. But this year, for me personally, I will actually be judging a kids barbecue contest on Saturday, tomorrow morning.
Fun.
So that's going to be really fun. I'm super excited for that. And I get to see all the kids dressed up, and I guess I'll go as a princess. I'm not really sure.
You've got the tiara, so it's all good. You've got half of the costume down.
Exactly.
So is there like a scary, like Miss Texas ambassador zombie look?
I don't think there's an official one, but we can get one going.
Oh, I think that's a good idea.
That would be big
That'd be
fun.
fantastic.
That would be big fun.
So you've said you've taken on a new job. Now that had to be an interesting interview, and I say this because Miss Texas has to be a part of that conversation, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't think that people realize how much Miss Texas takes up of an individual's life during that time frame. How did that conversation go with your interview and then taking on that new job, and how is that impacting your ability to do your new job?
Yeah, so the conversation was definitely in a positive light, because being a part of the Miss Texas organization has provided me so many great skills. Being competitive is one of them, naturally, but then also just, having the ability to time manage, right? So being at Miss Southeast Texas while also working a full-time job is, of course, a balance. I think COVID, I don't want to say it's made it easier, because in no means has it made it easier, but you have the ability to do a lot more things because of this virtual world. So I am working virtually. We work from home, so I'm about to hop onto a meeting here at 8:45 right after I'm done with this. But the conversation was great. They were really excited about my role as Miss Southeast Texas because it brought a lot of new things to the table. And then time management wise, it's great. I still have the ability to be Miss Southeast Texas throughout the week as I'm here with you guys this morning, about to hop on to my meeting, and then just do my normal everyday life at 8:45 from 8:45 to 5 o'clock in the evening.
That's really cool. How much did Miss Texas contribute to your ability to interview well, be poised, and help you get that job? What kind of role did that play?
I would say it's played a huge role because up until like my organization, we've been doing practice interviews for the past 7 or 8 months. So whenever I had my actual job interview, I've never actually felt so prepared for a job interview than whenever I went into this one because of the prep that I had done for Miss Texas. That has related directly into my life as Angela Witkowski going into, the career world.
Very, very cool. We have been so blessed, and Kathy can talk to this, with so many wonderful Miss Texas ambassadors. And I'm going to tell you that you are right there with the top. And we so appreciate you. And it's a lot of work. It's almost like a full-time job to be Miss Texas and to be a candidate for Miss Texas, for the Miss Texas pageant. And then yet you still have to live your regular life on top of that. And so I want to thank Susan Schuler and her getting you on with us today. And
absolutely,
we don't want to ever put you in a position not to be able to work. And so we know you got to get to your Zoom call. But if you had something you could say to all of the young women out there who may not feel great about how they look, or may not feel great, or don't think that they have the poise or potential to be a Miss Texas candidate, what would you say to those young women?
Yeah, so first of all, I don't believe that anybody does not have the potential to be Miss Texas. I feel like it is overall, the Miss Texas organization is a developmental program. So as I had mentioned, this has really allowed me to develop into a young professional and be able to get those jobs because of the practice interviews that I had done prior to it. So I think that anybody can do it. If you want to go for it, you absolutely should. I competed for the first time last year in 2019, really having no idea what to expect. Just wanted to kind of dip my toes in it, see if I was going to like it, see how it was going to go. I actually competed for Miss Houston first, and I ended up getting first runner-up. And then 2 weeks later was the Miss Southeast Texas competition, and I ended up winning. So as someone who had never competed for the Miss Texas organization before, it was definitely a leap. So if I can do it, I know anybody can do it.
And I love that message. And your platform sends a really strong message. And I know you're getting ready to hop on a call. Real quick, let's talk about that important platform that you're pushing and promoting out there.
Yeah, absolutely. So my platform is Educate, Encourage, Exceed, the pursuit of a higher education. So it's exactly what it sounds like, right? So if we are educating one another, you can continuously encourage and push others to do better, and then we all exceed. Because for me, I was the first person in my family. I'm a first generation college graduate. So again, if I can do it, I know anybody can do it. But really outside of a 4-year university, I think there is so much potential for so many people. And I feel like there's definitely been this path drawn that you have to go to a 4-year university to be successful, but there are technical schools, trade schools, any kind of professional school. If you have a desire, I absolutely believe that you should follow that passion, because there is a career out there and everybody deserves to live the life that they dreamed of.
Very well said. Very well said. Well, we are just so thrilled that you spent today with us, and we appreciate you being such an advocate for the Miss Texas program, and in particular, Texas Cares for Children. Great message. So even if you didn't grow up doing pageants when you were 3, you can still turn around and be part of this wonderful organization.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I know a lot of the girls that are competing this year, this is their first time too. And I feel like the Miss America organization has really, that's the message that they're trying to send. They want girls to compete because it is a scholarship organization. You have the potential to earn scholarships so that you can pay for school and you can go and, live your dream. So definitely an amazing program to be a part of.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Miss Southeast Texas. And we are looking forward to having you back on the show again.
Yes, thank you guys so much for having me. This has been a blast.
All right.
Okay, Wazowski. We'll see you later, Wazowski.
Thanks, thanks, Angela.
Bye-bye.
Oh, I love it.
I couldn't help myself, Kathy.
I knew
Her
you're.
name was Wazowski.
I knew you were going to go down that road, and then when she said that, you know what, I'm in Austin now. I can support that JP. When she talked about UT, I was like, oh, here we go. JP is the happiest camper on God's green earth right now.
You knew it, Kathy. Let me take these 3 minutes and let's cover the NFL real quick.
Excellent. Since
And then
we
we'll
won't
go
be
into
watching
Freaky
it, but go
Friday.
ahead.
Then we'll go into Freaky Friday.
Oh.
Wanted to talk a little bit about the fact that I believe we are now without an undefeated team in the NFL. And I'll tell you, well, that's not true. I take that back. We have one undefeated team. That's my Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh,
at
they're
6-0.
really? I didn't know
Yes,
that.
atop the AFC North. Let me tell you how different it is between the AFC North and the NFC East. Here are the top three teams, Kathy: 6-0, 5-1, 5-2.
Okay.
And then at the bottom of the division are the Bengals at 1-5. Well, 1-5-1, right? So then you go to the NFC East, and of course, I made fun of this on my Facebook page. Here's your number one, 2-4-1. Then number 2, 2-5. Number 3, 2-5, and the Giants at 1-6. I'm like, how are these people in? How are we playing in the NFL? The Philadelphia Eagles, the Washington, the Dallas Cowboys, and New York Giants.
I don't know.
That's embarrassing.
It's well, I mean, and we kind of talked about this a little bit after last week's game with the Cowboys. It's like they're not even showing up, and so you've got some teams that I don't know if they're just going, COVID, it is what it is. The season was truncated, or shortened or whatever, and it's almost like I feel like some of these teams aren't taking this season seriously.
I don't know. Well, they need to.
Yeah.
I'll tell you who is taking it seriously is the Buffalo Bills. They are 5-2. A quick reflection after 6 games, Kathy, with the New England Patriots.
Right.
No Tom Brady, and the New England Patriots are 2-4.
Yep.
And so I think that's interesting. The Kansas City Chiefs, the Super Bowl champions, are 6-1. The Steelers are 6-0.
Michelle
and
is
the
happy.
Titans are 5-1 as well. So I think a surprise there. Run game getting it done in Tennessee. NFC East, atop the NFC East, the Philadelphia Eagles 2-4-1, embarrassing. The Washington 2-5. The Dallas Cowboys 2-5 as well. NFC West, the Seahawks lose to the Cardinals. Kathy, I'm going to tell you, I think that the Arizona Cardinals this year are a team to be reckoned with. The Cardinals go up to Seattle and they win in Seattle, giving Seattle their first loss.
Right.
And in quite a game up there. And the quarterback is the difference maker. Alan Eagle product came down to Texas Stadium and beat the Cowboys. In fact, he has an undefeated record now with the Dallas Cowboys, or with Texas Stadium, or Jerry World, however we want to call that.
The Death Star.
AT&T Stadium. And then goes up to Seattle and wins there too. They're 5-2, sitting right behind the Seattle Seahawks at 5-1, tied in a race with the Rams at 5-2, and the 49ers have climbed to 4-3. The Packers are 5-1 in the NFC North, and the Bears 5-2, and then the Buccaneers. Interesting. Tom Brady comes to town, and guess what?
What?
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are 5-2, and they are in first place in the NFC South.
You can't
and they are
deny that.
Yeah.
Can't deny his
3-0.
presence. I had said that, I know he's older. I get that. I understand he's an aging athlete, but he can still bring it. And I think he brings with him such leadership, team building, team cohesiveness, some star power. I think he's made a huge impact on that team.
Yeah. So it's very, very interesting. how the NFL is playing out right now, but Tom Brady definitely getting it done for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And again, it's like you said, he may be aging, but you don't take away that leadership and that nose to win. And he and Brett Favre, to me, were very similar in that. They could win with almost a team of nothing.
They just know how to lead.
Very pleased for him.
Yep.
Of course, last night's game, the Falcons and the Panthers, hapless football game. Again, I'm not even watching football, but read about it, and it was hapless. I think that your game of the week this week stays in the AFC, and that's going to be the Steelers and the Ravens. These two are atop the AFC, and both are defensive minded, and I think that is your game of the week. I'm going to take my Pittsburgh Steelers to stay undefeated and go 7-0. So that kind of gives us an NFL wrap-up. Of course, we would be remiss not to mention the fact that the Cowboys take on the Eagles. Again, hapless division, 2-4-1 taking on a 2-5.
Right.
And first place is up in the air.
Again, this has been the most bizarre season. We'll talk about sports again next week after this weekend and see what happens. I just think some people are just kind of dialing it in. That's my take. And unfortunately, especially after Dak went out with that devastating injury, it seems to me the Cowboys are dialing it in. It's like, or calling it in, whatever you say. What does that say?
Well, dialing it down, calling it in.
Just kind of like, okay, we're here. What time does the game start? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
all right,
crazy.
Charles, did you get my Freaky Friday stories?
Yes, but you send stuff with so many pop-ups that they won't even load.
Pop-ups love JP. Seriously, they follow you. Pop-ups make me crazy. But everything you send has like 9,000.
So we'll see here.
Has like 9,000.
If you can bring it up, Charles, bring it up. If not, we're just going to talk about it. Kathy, this is hilarious. And I don't know if you can get there, Kathy, or not, but it's dry. If you can type this into Google, driver takes to the streets with entire greenhouse strapped to the roof.
What? Okay, I've got to find that. Where is that?
Yes. You've got to go look at this picture. I don't know if Charles will be able to get it up there in time or not, because I sent it to him during the show. But it's hilarious.
Is this
guy has taken a greenhouse and he has strapped it to this little subcompact car and is driving down the streets in the London, England area, Leamington, Hampshire, to be honest, or to be completely specific. But yeah, he's a local care manager. Teresa Mulberry was a passenger in the car behind him and filmed the scene as he's driving down the road with this greenhouse strapped to his subcompact car.
Unbelievable. And I don't know how it's not crashing and breaking. I just pulled it up. I don't know how it didn't crash and break.
Yeah, who knows?
Because like it's bigger, like it's out here and the car's like here. It's longer and wider than the car is. Oh my goodness me, that's like one stop and shards of glass are all over the place. I'm surprised that he was allowed to do that. He must have just been moving it, transporting it a very short distance. That's one of those things, if the police saw that, they would have to pull you over, right?
I think so.
I mean, I don't know.
When the greenhouse, when you could have taken that greenhouse, put it right side up, and it would put the entire car in it. Yeah, I would think so.
I've got the other two that you can look at.
And then also, I want to know, we've got a special birthday announcement and a dear friend of mine and JP's that we're going to be singing happy birthday to at the end of the show. I'd like to know if the crew can put on their feed, since we've got Halloween tomorrow, what are you doing to distribute candy if any kids come by? And I'm anxious to hear on Monday how many people get actual trick-or-treaters. What are you doing to be unique and to be coronavirus safe when distributing candy?
I've got the
this
perfect
Halloween.
thing.
What is it?
You know those little T-shirt shooters? You need to have a candy shooter.
That would be fun. I've got somebody in my old neighborhood. They with their kids built a candy slide. So they'll be when the trick or treater comes by, they've got this candy slide. It's like a chute, and they're going to take the candy, drop it through
Drop it
there,
through.
and then the kids get
You know,
it
drop
at
it right into
6 feet down the sidewalk, but safely. That would be fun. I think I'm
Now,
going to go
I-
trick or treating at their house.
Yeah.
I have a friend who's putting their candy in plastic baggies and setting it around their cauldron, and kids can come up with contactless.
okay.
treating. Pick up the
Okay.
little baggie.
That's a good idea. So it's already because then, and I know some people who are just going to put a big bowl out on a table and say, "Take one." Well, okay, take
Well, you
one.
know, the high school comes by and they're
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
dump it in their bag.
the 15-year-old comes by and they've got their whole, they take your bowl too. But I think that's a really good idea, and I may do that where you just put in individual baggies, so you've got 3 or 4 pieces.
Right.
And does anybody from the crew give out full bars? Just wondering.
Now, my dad gives out $2 bills.
Oh,
There you
that's
go.
right. That's right. Now, is he dressing up this year?
Of course.
So-
and so
Love
we'll
it.
have
I need to
his
fly to
bowl of candy,
Phoenix.
but he'll have his $2 bills too.
I
I can fly
love
to
it.
Phoenix and you know, I'll have like, wonder how many outfits I can do to come up to John to Stan's house.
I love
So,
it. And Stan's
Kathy-
doing well. Stan's doing
He
well.
has.
So we wanted to give an update on your dad.
Yep, do that here in a minute. So we got another Freaky Friday story.
Oh, no. What is it?
Yeah, you're going to love this one. Of course, I'm doing them in the order I sent Charles, just in case he can get them up.
Oh, no, I've got the one since we're talking about Halloween.
Oh, you want me to go to that one?
Yes.
All right. So, Kathy, here you go. You're going to love this. These are
Um,
masks that were being sold on Amazon, and they were coronavirus Halloween masks for sale.
Wait, what? Let
And
me
they
see.
look
I
like
can't
evil
see
clowns.
it.
It's
I can't.
small, so just a second.
They look like evil clown pictures.
I
I
don't-
want one.
Look at that.
Oh, those are jacked up. Those are, I don't like those at all. Nope. Shut it down. Nope. Nope.
They're
nope, nope,
funny.
nope, mm-mm.
So check this out. They're being listed for sale in Guangdong, China.
Look, Kathy, it's right next to you.
Right next to me.
It's right
No,
next
I
to
don't.
you.
I don't like that.
It's right next to
Don't put
you.
me that
It's right
close
next
to
to
it. Don't put me that close to it.
So yeah, a coronavirus mask. You know, again, I feel like it was funny. We were at a restaurant. We at a restaurant at the airport when we flew out to Phoenix, and it felt like I was in this very quiet but tense scene of a zombie movie, and we were watching zombies come across the tarmacs.
Okay. Nope.
That's what they made it feel like. And so these masks definitely go, a big step further. So here's your coronavirus mask.
No,
Kathy.
no, thank you. I will just take the little blue one from the grocery store. Hey, what's the most popular Texas candy this year? Do you know?
I'm not sure. We have to look it up. You know, they do the map of the United States.
And I pulled it up. And do you know Texas has a new one that a chocolate candy has been unseated for
No.
Starburst?
Really?
Starburst.
It's free.
I like Starburst, but they stick to your teeth.
You know, I like Starburst too, but I like Reese's peanut butter cups. And I thought
And that's what they beat out. They have taken
Yeah.
it over this year, which
So, John,
I'm
have you-
kind of surprised. That's kind of breaking news for Texas.
Have you had the Dove chocolate peanut butter things?
Oh, are those
Not
good?
yet. I need to try those.
Okay, don't do that. If you like Reese's peanut butter cups, don't do the Dove. With
Will it
peanut
ruin
butter.
you? It'll ruin
You
it
will
for you?
never have a Reese's again.
Really?
Oh my gosh.
You know, we may have to do, JP, next week after the election, let's do a taste test.
Oh, candy.
Let's do a
Okay.
taste test with Reese's
The best
and
candies.
with the Dove.
And I hear
Because
there's tons of
I don't know
candy.
about
There's
that,
tons of candy
Charles.
in the grocery stores.
Oh, I know.
And so we're going to have a huge
There's
50%
going to be some
off
big
tomorrow
old
or
sales.
Sunday.
Yeah, Chambrielle, our intern, she's
Sunday
going, oh,
and
yeah.
Monday.
Yeah, there are going to be some
I'll try to
big
see if I can
old.
snag some
big
peanut butter
old
Dove.
Bring those in. I'll bring in the Reese's peanut butter cups. We'll do a taste test
Oh,
after
we
the
could do a
election.
blind test on those, man.
Okay. Yeah,
All
we
right.
can cut them
Hands
up
down.
so you don't know.
Oh, I could
So
easily.
we'll do
I
that.
like
So
it.
we've got one more Freaky Friday story. And Kathy, this is something else. I don't know how it happens. Toothbrush removed from man's stomach after he swallowed it while brushing.
No. No. Oh, you would have to shove that down your throat. Unless it's
I'm
like a
telling
little
you.
thumb size toothbrush. You can't do that. You would die.
So
You would
here-
choke.
Here's the story. Doctors
No.
removed the 19 centimeter long brush within 24 hours, fearing that leaving it any longer could have been fatal.
No.
The patient 39, whose name has been withheld,
Yeah,
was brushing
yes.
his teeth when it slipped. He rushed to a nearby health clinic, which quickly referred him to a hospital more than 100 kilometers away. An X-ray
There's
and
just
further
no
tests.
way.
Yeah, I don't know.
No.
Couldn't locate the brush in the man's throat, leading doctors to conclude it was in his stomach. A minor operation was performed, and a short time later, the brush was removed. And it's a full-length brush. I mean, it's not a small brush.
No, I just that makes no sense at all.
Just telling you.
I
They took out a full-length toothbrush out of this man's stomach.
It's right
No.
next to you, Kathy.
I see it. I'm like,
It's right
no,
next to you. It's
I
right
no,
next
I
to
don't like
you.
that at all. I just don't get it. I just I understand like being in a hurry and brushing your teeth really fast or something, but I don't and I lean forward. Like when I brush my teeth, I'm leaning over the sink. Right? So how like
Right, why?
I don't know, you'd have to like throw your head back or something.
I guess it
mine's
slipped
electric,
past
so.
his teeth.
Yeah.
You know, what was that saying? Past the gums, past the...
Oh, over the
Through-
teeth,
past the
through the
teeth,
teeth, over the gums.
over the
Watch out,
gums,
stomach!
watch out,
Here it
stomach, here it
comes.
comes. That's
Yeah,
And there it went.
yeah. No. Yeah, that's a big wah, wah.
Some real quick comments from our Restream chat. Let's see.
People are
Elizabeth says
shocked
that's
at the
insane.
candy.
Starburst
Yeah.
over Reese's.
Yep.
Coach Quigley says Reese's for me.
Yep.
Let's see. Fred said, hey, it said take one. It didn't say take one piece. So I took one bowl.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, there you go.
And then Gail Beek says, I'm spraying them with Lysol when they come to the door. Laugh out
Oh,
loud.
I love it. Yeah. Kids, come over here. Shh. Okay, now we can talk.
Now we could talk. So, yep, that's the Freaky Friday stories I have for us this Friday, Kathy. And now a quick update
Oh.
on Dad. So, Dad is not, he didn't feel too well last night. Legs are hurting a little bit, but of course, he had 2 surgeries on them. So,
Right. To be
but
expected. Yeah.
overall, doing better. And thank you for asking. And kidneys are
Absolutely.
functioning well. He's going to his doctor appointments, and so that's good
Love
too.
it. That's funny how that happens when you're around. That's why we're getting him to Texas as
Yes.
fast as we can.
As
As
soon as
fast as we
possible.
can. Well, we're really glad to hear that, and we want everybody to have a safe and happy and a good Halloween. And just be safe this season. It's a lot of crazy stuff going on out there. So if you're going to be out and about, take care of yourself. And then JP, we've got to finish off our show. We have got a very special birthday wish for a dear friend of ours who is 90 years old today.
I agree. I wish we could have brought her in on a Zoom link this morning.
Oh, that would have
we'd
been
love to.
fun. Well, she some of her friends know that we're doing this birthday shout out and we're singing to her this morning. We had a really nice surprise birthday for her yesterday on Zoom with some of the members of her club. It's the one and only Dixie Clem, and if you're in the Republican Party in Collin County, she is the matriarch of our party, and she was instrumental in turning both Collin County and Texas red back in the day. Has been involved forever and a day, and my goodness, she got involved when she was in her 20s, and she's now 90. So we're talking, 70 years of service, or almost 70 years of service to the party. And I know JP and I both have a very special place in our heart for her. There is an award that is given every year to a young Republican, and JP has received that award in the past, back when we qualified, and I received the Dixie Clem Award as well. And that's something that you wear like a badge of honor if you've received an award with her name, because of just the amazing impact she's had in the world of politics and in the community here locally and in the state of Texas.
Absolutely. And, Dixie started off in a broom closet.
Yep.
And didn't let anybody ever deter her from turning them Republican. And was never afraid to talk to a Democrat.
You got that right, and flip them.
Yep. Let them know why they need to be Republican. And so we want to say happy birthday to you, Dixie.
And we love
finish
you
out the
dearly.
show with singing you a happy birthday with our great musical expertise.
I don't know about that, but okay, we'll try. It's the
try.
thought. It's the thought. We love you, Dixie. Happy birthday. Okay,
Happy birthday.
on 3. 1, 2, 3. Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
to
you. Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday
to
to
you. Happy
Happy
birthday, dear
dear
Dixie.
Dixie.
Jazz hands.
jazz
Happy
hands.
birthday to
you.
you and many more.
Many
Mwah.
more.
We love you. We love you dearly, Dixie. Everybody have a blessed weekend. And then Monday, mental health moment, Dr. Clothier and Keenan Williams from the Trump campaign, and early voting. Polls are open until 7 tonight. There's all kinds of volunteer opportunities over the weekend and into Election Day. Exciting times.
Exciting times. Everybody have a very blessed weekend. Have a safe weekend and make it fun for all. Charles, take us out.